All right, we're in business tonight. This is Nonno. Yeah, blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy calling himself Nonno. I'm half Italian. My great-grandfathers actually immigrated here in the late 1800s from Italy to St. Paul area. So tonight we're gonna make a classic Italian dish. I'm gonna call it classic chicken parmesan. But tonight we're gonna use chicken thighs versus chicken breasts, which is what I usually use, which is chicken breasts. And making a homemade sauce, don't ask me what's in it. It's got tomatoes and a bunch of seasoning. I don't measure, I just go. So we're gonna start with chicken thighs. We're gonna put those into an egg wash, dip those into some breadcrumbs that I've seasoned with salt, pepper, and garlic. Don't ask me how much. We just go with whatever feels good for the night. We're gonna brown those off, and then we're gonna bake them in a 400-degree oven, smothered and covered in my tomato sauce, gravy, if you're an old school Italian, and some Italian blend cheese, also with just straight up mozzarella. So let's get cooking. All right, so we got our chicken thighs going. Apparently we got our sauce going a little too high. Sauce I pulled out of the freezer. I made chicken parm a few months ago, maybe a couple months ago. And whenever I make a big meal like that, I make extra sauce, put it in quart containers, freeze it, and then when I want to make a meal like this, it's ready to go. I just thaw it out and cook it down. Tonight I was a little short, so I took a can of crushed tomatoes, added in oregano, basil, garlic, a little crushed red pepper, some salt, and lots of garlic. We don't measure in Italy. We just apparently part of the culture is we just put as much garlic in as we see fit. So we're gonna drop these chicken thighs, which I've never cooked with before, in a chicken parm, in the egg wash, the seasoned breadcrumbs. We're gonna cook them off brown them off a little bit in some canola oil. I put a little bit of olive oil in there, and then once we're done with that, we're gonna throw them in a 400-degree oven for about 25 minutes. Tonight we're pairing it with some fresh asparagus. Again, 400 degrees, a little olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic. All Italian cooking needs garlic, lots of it. Keeps you young, keeps you healthy. And let's see what we get tonight. Okay, so what we got there in the pan, we got cooking. We did the wash first. Gotta wash my hands. We're gonna brown these off real quick over high heat. Get those going. We're gonna throw them into a baking dish, and we're gonna finish them off in a 400-degree oven. The thing that's important about chicken parm is you can't do it wrong. Lots of cheese, lots of sauce. First time my son made chicken parm, he asked me about the recipe, and I laughed at him because we don't do recipes, we just cook. So this is the first episode of Nonno's Kitchen where I'm cooking something that my mom used to make. My mom still does make it. It's easy. I can take it when I'm done, put it in a couple containers, and have a good lunch for the next couple of days when I've got busy work going on. Okay, so I browned these off a couple, 3 minutes each side. Gonna layer them up. This is the mozzarella cheese and some different Italian cheese blends in there. I just buy the pre-shredded stuff. Now cheese is important, especially being in Wisconsin. We got to make sure we support our farmers here. So I cheese these up pretty good, and then take this sauce. If you make your own sauce, there are folks who put sugar in their sauce to take away some of the bitterness of the tomatoes. Just change what you use for your seasonings. A sweet sauce is just not something I really care for, but that's me. So we got this covered up in sauce. Again, there's no magic to this. You read a recipe about chicken parm, and it's going to tell you, cook on the stove top, do certain things. This is the way I cook it. This is the way my mother cooks it. This is the way that has always worked for me. So then we're going to take this, and we're going to just keep layering cheese on here, and in the 400-degree oven, it's going to get nice and brown. So I didn't put as much in there as I probably would like to. But we're gonna cook this up 400 degrees for about 25 minutes. The chicken thighs, I've never made them use them for chicken parm before, and knowing what we know about chicken thighs, they tend to retain their moisture really nicely. For those of you paying real close attention on the video, you'll notice that Gene's tongue is already dripping over Nonno's chicken parm. So we'll be back. We're going to throw this in the oven with some asparagus that I have seasoned with a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic. Both of those are going to be in the oven for about 25 minutes at 400 degrees. We'll be back once those are pulled out of the oven. All right, so we're going to pull this out of the oven here. It's been cooking for about half an hour. I don't check temperatures. Probably not the best way to practice cooking, but I've yet to get sick. So just keep playing with danger. So there we go. We're going to let this sit a little bit. It'll thicken up just a hair. One of the best things is to spoon the sauces over the top of the angel hair pasta. Really delicious. Family usually fights over who gets to have that. We'll be back. All right, so there we go. Chicken parm with asparagus that I roasted, both 400 degrees for about 25 minutes. Underneath that delicious mess that you see is the chicken thighs, some angel hair pasta, homemade sauce, finished off with some Parmesan cheese grated on top. Delicious. These are plates that my mother brought back for me from Italy back in 1996. I was on a trip to Italy with Grandma and Grandpa. So doing it old school, including on the Italian dishes. See you next time.